All right, well, we have a large crowd that registered for today's program. Not as big as the crowd for Netflix or Prime Video, but a large crowd. So as we're letting everybody in, Sophie's managing the door and everybody's getting their seats. I want to welcome you. I am Kara Cohen. I'm with AARP Massachusetts. And I lead the team that does all the outreach across the state, including offering dozens of events all year and supporting hundreds of volunteers across the Commonwealth. Welcome, welcome everybody. Today we will explore streaming and smart TVs. Are you in the right place? Streaming and smart TVs? Okay, good. If you want to hitch a ride with us for the other events in this series, you can find them at aarp.org/2022 digital. That's aarp.org/2022 digital. Our next one is on mindfulness apps. That's apps for your phone, all about mindfulness. You will also find many other helpful and relevant offerings at aarp.org/near-you. That's a great place to start because it's by zip code. So I want to confirm your suspicion that most of our events are focused on health and financial security. That's what you would expect from us at AARP. And of course, we're focused on people 50 and over and their families. And so you'll find that reflected in our offerings and in our advocacy. Digital literacy means better understanding the tools and devices that can connect you to the vital information, provide pathways to personal fulfillment, and give you a sense of being connected and more informed. And this seminar today is brought to you by AARP. Over 60 years ago, the American Association of Retired Persons was founded by a retired high school principal, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus. And from the start, AARP focused on preserving and maintaining the financial security and health security of older people. And what's important to know is that with the many members that we have that are still in the workforce, we are no longer called the American Association of Retired Persons. That's a change we made about 20 years ago. We are AARP.
You did, right?
We are 38 million members strong with over 670,000 members in Massachusetts. 670,000 in Massachusetts. Now, I want to remind everybody to stay on mute because this is not in webinar format, so we can see you if you have your camera on, and we can hear you if you have your microphone off, or on, I should say. I also want to take a minute to share about how AARP is and somehow I muted myself. How did that happen? So I want to take a minute to tell you about how AARP is fighting for you. We are advocating across the state and all the way to the United States Capitol to protect Medicare, Social Security, your financial security. Recently, AARP led the fight to lower prescription drugs and the cost of prescription drugs, and we won. Millions of older Americans will now save money on their medications. That is a big deal. Here in Massachusetts, we continue to fight on a range of issues, including urging improvements to nursing homes and long-term care facilities, pressing further for lowering prescription drug costs, urging passage of a tax credit to support family caregivers, and increasing access to home and community-based services. We will keep fighting for the issues that affect our members in Massachusetts and across the country. And so for more information, for those of you who are interested, you can go to aarp.org/advocacy to follow our advocacy work and get involved. To keep up with us further, and a good piece of advice, if you're trying to be digitally savvy, that's why you're here today, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, please. We post about all of our events, our wins, and our calls to action. We want to count you as one of the thousands of followers that we have online. Today's presentation is brought to you by Senior Planet, which is part of OATS, that's OATS, one of AARP's charitable affiliates. OATS delivers award-winning training programs that are designed to help older adults understand and effectively use technology to increase social connectedness, health, civic engagement, financial security, and creative expression. The mission of OATS from AARP is to harness the power of technology to change the way we age. As you think of questions you want to ask, please place them in the chat section, and we will aim to get to most of them before the hour is up in the chat section. Please put your questions there and look for the answers there. After today, the recording will be sent to you.
Mic, though.
The recording will be sent to you along with the slides, and there will also be a brief survey where we appreciate feedback from you so that we can improve the richness of our offerings. So thank you for making time to be with us today. Please turn your microphone off and get ready to listen and put your questions in chat. If you have registered under a certain name, it would be really helpful for us if you put that name on the screen so that we can see who it actually is who's with us today. So please check and rename yourself if you know how to do that with the 3 dots at the top. And we appreciate you doing that so that we can keep track of who came here to today's classroom. Okay, so let's get to the subject at hand finally, streaming and smart TVs. I'm happy to introduce Jessica Fortin and Brianna Clark. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jess Fortin. I am a trainer here at Senior Planet North Country in Northern New York. I'm joined today by Bree Clark. Bree will be staffing the chat, addressing questions, and putting in some helpful links there for you. I want to say thank you so much to AARP Massachusetts for hosting us. For those who don't already know, Senior Planet is a recent addition to the AARP family. Senior Planet AARP is a national program designed for people 60 and older. As an affiliate of AARP, we do welcome everyone 50 and older to join us. We offer thousands of free online classes to help you build technology skills to improve your health, save money, make new friends, and just thrive in today's digital world. If you'd like to learn more and join our programs, please visit www.seniorplanet.org. Bree will put the website in the chat, and there's also a handout for today's program. I'll share that. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. So streaming and smart TVs. This is just a general introduction to streaming services and watching streamed content on your TV. We are going to discuss different services and devices. I'm not going into too terrible of detail about how each one works. We invite you to kind of explore them, definitely. This lecture will talk about what exactly is cord cutting, and then we'll cover some of the various topics, streaming without a subscription, okay. And then some of the subscription-based online entertainments. You'll know several of them. We'll talk about how to watch live TV without having cable, and then some of the various smart TVs and streaming devices that you may choose to get. So we'll start it off with some questions. Feel free to put your responses in the chat. We will monitor them. Curious? Who's ever watched a TV show by streaming it? So instead of using your cable services, similar to you watching it on the internet, kind of like a YouTube video. Does anyone have a fun story to share about watching TV or movies online? And to get us started, what are some of those streaming platforms that you are familiar with? Some of them we'll probably discuss today, and hopefully we hear about some new ones. So if you want to throw something in the chat.
So far, I'm seeing lots of yeses. I know some of you surely are coming here to learn, so curious if anyone's not ever streamed before. I think Hulu, HBO Max, Apple TV. Oh, here they all come in. People were taking their time typing. I've never streamed. A few folks who have not used streaming before. Someone using the PBS Passport membership benefit. We learned about that recently, or I learned about that recently. Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus. A good mix of people who have done both, streamed and not streamed.
I think that's a growing number of us. So good. I'd like to know where we stand when we get started here. All right. So cord cutting, what exactly is it? Well, canceling that ridiculously expensive multi-channel subscription TV services, so your cable, in favor of streaming your media. It has definitely become much more common in the last several years. The rise of that affordable broadband internet and Wi-Fi has definitely made it possible to be able to watch your TV and your movies on the internet. You can either download the videos or just stream them. Streaming has definitely been growing in popularity since the early 2000s. So streaming is that transfer of the data over the internet, continuous flow. When you're streaming, you don't have to download. So again, think of like those YouTube videos, whatever you watch like that, it's similar to that. It just streams over the internet. You don't have to download it. Although in many cases that might be an option. So I will throw that out just enough to keep it a little confusing. The general minimum internet speed of 15 megabits a second is just their way of measuring it, is generally required for that high quality. But don't let that number scare you. Back in 2015, US regulators set the standard for your high-speed internet at 25 megabits a second. So even if you are in a rural area, where I grew up in a rural area, it doesn't always match up to quite what they say it should. I understand that. To stream at standard quality, it can be done as low as 4 megabytes a second. So pretty much all of us should definitely be able to do this. And a handy little thing, if you use Netflix, for instance, they will auto-regulate your quality. They'll adjust your quality to whatever your speed of your internet is. That way you don't run into that pause, that buffering little window in there, which is nice. I do want to throw in there too, though, keep in mind how many devices are connected to the internet at the same time. That will also affect it. So if you have a really great high speed, but your husband's playing on TikTok, or you've got a kid playing on the internet, watching something, or somebody's using the Xbox playing online, all of those different devices using the internet at the same time will, of course, slow down the speed to each. So do keep that in mind. Okay. So now that you know what it is, how do you want to stream without a subscription? So you don't have your monthly costs, you don't have to worry about when everything is due, things like that. There's definitely a growing number of ways to do this, which I think is fantastic. As a kid, I kind of grew up in a very rural area. We had PBS, ABC, and Fox occasionally. We never had cable growing up. So things like this, I think, are great for all of us, honestly, because cable, I feel, gets more and more expensive every year. And I don't know about all of you. I feel like they play the same 4 movies on repeat for every channel all month. So there are different free methods. There's always YouTube, of course. I know this is something we think about for watching those little instructional videos, things like that. YouTube, of course, users upload different things. They can upload classic movies. You can get a lot of highlights, classic cartoons. My personal favorite is concert footage. This has definitely been a growing thing. It is a free service. Is there anyone who doesn't know how to use YouTube? I'm going to show you a couple quick ways that you can actually use this to stream various services. So YouTube here, kind of standard screen. We all know this. So you can search different things depending on what you're looking for. My concert footage we'll do Madison Square Garden. Anybody has played in Madison Square Garden, pretty safe bet. When you pull up your results, you've just got to kind of look. They do have an ad first. They are ad supported. So I do definitely recommend looking through. And they do have here in this bottom corner a timestamp, so you can see how long it is. Billy Joel, Madison Square Garden, back in September, 2 hours and almost 28 minutes. I'm going to say you've got a pretty long concert piece there. This one's 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Piano Man, personal favorite. You can watch that performance live. You can pull up all kinds of different bits, but yeah, pay attention to that timestamp. That'll definitely let you know. And of course, you got a description on the side. I will say movies, you can get some, absolutely. You see my little search history here I use for various things. I looked at some of my old classic movies. The Ghost and Mrs. Muir currently is not offered as a free view on YouTube, or The Inn and the Sixth Happiness, both older movies. fantastic movies. I recommend if you haven't watched them. Casablanca, thank you, Bree. We Have Found is one. You search Casablanca 1942, you see from the timestamp, got 1 minute and 37 seconds. I think that's a safe bet. That's probably your full movie. We have this here. You can buy or rent. This is something we'll talk about in a moment. That is an option for you too. And then you can get highlights, you can get soundtracks. So definitely pay attention to what it says. The reason there's not a lot of movies on here, they have a very long copyright and it's a little convoluted. It has changed through the years. Movie copyrights here in the US can be anywhere from 70 years after the death of the producer to 95 years. So it is very long. It is a little hard to kind of find some on here sometimes, but absolutely search it. And sometimes when you look for a full movie, that will help when you're looking for a movie. I do have a neat little trick for everyone else if you didn't know it. So your top menu here, you got your little 3 bars is a more menu. If you click on that and then scroll it down here until you get to explore movies and shows. If you select that, they'll have recommended, any you buy will be here under your purchase list, under that buy and rent I showed. But they also have free with ads. This list is always changing. And for some reason, sometimes it seems much more inclusive than others. I don't know why. But these are all different movies that you can watch free with ads. I'll show you the rating and everything. Your different stuff here. There's a bunch of movies. You can go down, you can look at different shows. And there's quite a varied selection on here. And as I said, it does sometimes change. Of course, you can click on it, get your little description, and watch all your little episodes. If you wanted a show, or if you want to do a movie, you can do that as well. I think this is something that not many people really know about, but it is definitely something that is in here. This is my restricted modes. Like all YouTube, you got to play with it. But I wanted to let everybody know that that is definitely something that you can do. Okay. Another free one is Tubi. This is growing in popularity. Tubi is a free streaming service, completely legal, launched in 2014 out of San Francisco. I will say it does come pre-installed now on some of the newer smart TVs, and you can also use it on the web browser. You typically see a commercial before, and if you're watching a movie, you'll periodically get one kind of thrown in here or there, not too terribly often. My kids and I have recently discovered Tubi, and it's a lot of fun. So if we do Tubi, I can say. Another thing I really, really like about Tubi too is its filters. If you go to browse, you've got all these different collections. Like a lot of the other streaming services, they do have leaving soon or first time on Tubi. They do change their content periodically, much like a lot of the streaming services. So you do have things like that. You can absolutely use Tubi without having an account. But the advantage to having a free account is you then get to save things. So if you see, I can continue watching. So wherever I left off on a show will pop up in there, or I can leave things in a queue. If I happen to come across something, I'm like, oh, that sounds really great. I can put that in a list that I can then watch later. So there is an advantage to having a free account, but you can absolutely 100% use it without one. Okay. And for those of you who like networks, there is network stuff on here, and there is British TV. I had a participant one time very excited for British TV. She has Acorn and things like that, but was very excited to find things that she had a hard time finding elsewhere. They have some lesser known movies. They have big blockbusters, all kinds of things. And they do have live TV, typically if you're in a more urban area, but that is there as well for everyone. Just tubitv.com. And as I said, that does come pre-installed on some of the newer smart TVs. So you may have seen that. They do have generally more than 15,000 movies and TV shows. So you will find a lot of things. I recommend browsing. I've found when I'm looking for something particular, I may not be able to find it. It's just how it kind of goes on the internet. But you're in the mood for a comedy, go browse the comedies. I've watched a lot of Tubi TV, and I've only ever found one that wasn't great. But it was that, you ever watched that show that's so horrible, it's comical? Just kind of like that. But definitely, I strongly recommend checking it out. Okay. So what is their other free one we got here is network TV. Most of us watch network TV shows, various things, everything CBS, NBC, PBS, Fox, all of those channels. Okay. You can go to their website, and they do all tend to have episodes or videos or watch now, and it'll drop down a list for you. You may need to sign into a free account for some of these websites. And I will say sometimes previous seasons aren't available. Think like NCIS. It's been around for a very, very long time. They have many, many seasons, and they do sell some of them to cable for reruns. But there is a huge, huge extensive list on most of these. I know PBS Passport was mentioned, so I will show you. You do not have to have PBS Passport to watch things on PBS. We do shows. One of my favorite things, though, is they give you the TV schedule too. If you set it to your channel, you can see the schedule. It'll show you all your shows that you can watch. Different things in here. Okay. I do personally like, they've got live TV. Most of the network TVs do. So you can go on as long as your channel is in there. You've got it set to your home channel. You can then click on it and watch your live TV. You can do it over your computer, or as some of our methods we'll talk about, you can broadcast it to your TV or through your streaming device. The PBS Passport that was mentioned, scroll and make everybody just a little dizzy here. Oh, sorry. Some of your shows, all PBS Passport is when you support your local PBS station, because it is funded, it is not for profit. You support your local channel and they give you PBS Passport. It gives you access to a lot more of their content. You can get access to a lot of their newer stuff, full seasons, things like that. And I know a lot of you probably do support your local channel. So if you do, definitely look into it. Okay. But you know, other network TV channels are going to be very, very similar. You go to NBC.com, same type of thing. You can watch your episodes, look up your favorite show. And generally they have your live TV on there as well. Everyone with me so far? Okay. Get back to my right screen here for everyone. So buying or renting, we did touch on this with YouTube. You can buy and rent things through Google Play, Amazon Video, the iTunes Store, depending on what you choose to use. An easy way to do this is go right to Google. This will let you know if you do have streaming services too, where you can find things. Maureen O'Hara here. Quiet Man, John Wayne, Maureen O'Hara. If you pull it up, not only will it give you your information, you know, your cast, all that such, it will tell you where you can watch it. Okay. So it'll give you all these different watch options. YouTube's going to have it for $2.99, Google Play, those will be your rentals. Okay. Vudu, Apple TV, different things. But I definitely recommend people check this out. You frequently can find things that are being streamed for free on various platforms. And as you can see, there are a lot of platforms listed for things. So chances are you might have access to one of them. I do think it's a really great way for you to kind of check it out and see where things are available. And if you have one of these things where you do have that buy or rent option, $10 to buy, $3 to rent, the next time you log into a platform, it'll have anything you've purchased should be kept in there. And then you can watch it as many times as you want. Okay. I am going to throw one more thing in here too, under your free. Has anyone ever heard of Kanopy.com? Kanopy with a K. If you utilize your local library, they may offer a pass to be able to use it. It is a streaming service. A lot of libraries do offer access to it, and it always has changing stuffs as well in there. I will show it really quickly just so I can show you what's going at the moment. A lot of us do utilize our libraries. So if you do, definitely recommend seeing if they do offer this. If they don't offer Kanopy, they may very well offer something similar. You get a lot of different things. Stream thousands of films for free, thanks to the generous support of your public library or university. So you just get that information, and then you can log right in and see all the different stuff. Lots and lots of different stuff going on here. Just wanted to throw that out. I know a lot of us do utilize the libraries. So those are your free ones here, or mostly. Anyone think they might want to try some of those free streaming platforms? Does anyone use any of them already? I'm curious to that as well. And what are some of your favorite shows, past or present? Definitely, you can definitely try and see where they're available. Can anyone explain the term binge watch? Binge watch is dangerous on streaming platforms. I am very bad at time management sometimes, so it's kind of dangerous when my shows are just going to keep going.
So I want to acknowledge, I've seen many of your questions, asking questions for content we're going to get to in a moment, but yes, folks saying PBS Passport, Kanopy rather, and Betty said share services with others. So yeah, if you're not interested, maybe someone in your life is. These are really great free options, especially some of you mentioned your fear about replacing your expensive cable bill with a bunch of expensive streaming services. Yeah. This might be a really good place to start.
Yeah. Absolutely. And again, the content's kind of always changing. It's really great if I know people who travel quite a lot and you don't want to have cable or anything else if you're traveling. And even streaming services can sometimes, if you're using it through your TV and not through your other devices, they're hesitant about doing that. Or just, you've got somebody visiting. My friend had their grandchildren actually visit and like, I don't have anything for them to do. Oh no. Utilized a lot of these, just kind of that way I can kind of stop and search and see what's out there and realize there was a lot of good stuff that she is actually now watching. So again, most of those are free. So I definitely recommend check them out, scope them out, see if there's anything you might be interested in. Okay. So those are your free or buy or rent options. What have we got for subscription-based? And these are some of the most popular subscription-based entertainment here is shown. There are definitely others. I know Disney Plus, things like that were mentioned. There are definitely others. These are just some of the more popular. Like some of the others I mentioned, you do get those past TV shows. You can get your current TV shows. The same with movies. You can get some of the older ones, get some of the newer ones. There's always a really great mix. Most of them do make their own original content too. So you're going to get programs that Netflix makes that you can't watch on Hulu, and vice versa. Hulu makes some of their own programming as well. Amazon has The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Wheel of Time. Hulu has The Handmaid's Tale. Netflix has House of Cards, The Crown, all kinds of different things. So they do want you to get theirs as well. So I do definitely recommend kind of checking out, see what they've got, and finagle it and plan it, whatever works the best for you. Again, they do allow for that binge watching, so be cautious if you're watching an addicting show late at night. I hate they always leave it on a cliffhanger and you're looking at the clock going, what time do I have to be up in the morning? One more episode. So be cautious of that. I've definitely fallen into that trap before. Some of these services do offer several plans too, so you can get different options for different things. I'll go into that in a moment. And they do generally have apps too. So that means you can watch them on your mobile devices. If you want to watch it on your tablet, on your smartphone, things like that. I actually have Netflix on my phone so that if I'm stuck somewhere, I'll get stuck waiting sometimes, whether it's for a doctor's appointment, the ferry, whatever, I can start watching things while I'm waiting. There, as I said, different plans. Most of them have options to do ad-free. Hulu, you can pay more to have those no commercials. You can add premium channels, HBO, Showtime. You can actually add the entire Disney Plus streaming platform and tie that in with it together, ESPN, things like that. Generally, Hulu, the basic plan is $6.99 a month. No ads, bumps it up to $12.99 a month. And then you can get your various channels and packages added in. That can get you up to $75.99 a month. So like cable, I do caution your streaming services, if you are going to add on those packages, put some thought into it. So 10 add up. Just to throw some more out there, Netflix plans determine how many screens can be watching at the same time. Keep this in mind if you're going to be sharing services with someone. That is a very common thing. Most of us don't watch that much TV, so we may share a plan. Netflix big thing is they do limit how many screens are watching at the same time. I have a shared Netflix plan. If my daughter is watching on a screen and I'm watching on a screen and my husband wants to put something on, it does limit your number of screens at the same time. Not to say we can't all have it on there, just that same time watching. So be aware of that if you do want to share. A basic plan, one screen, $9.99. Standard is 2 screens at the same time for $15.49. Or you can get Netflix has got a premium plan, which is 4 screens at the same time for $19.99 a month. I will say these prices were all valid. Last time we all checked, but as we know, prices on everything are fluctuating. So keep that in mind. Another one I was mentioning was Amazon Prime. We all know that in terms of Amazon shopping. When we're shopping on Amazon, you get the Prime shipping, that 2-day shipping, things like that. The Amazon Prime TV streaming service package is actually a bonus to that. If you already have that, it is tied in. Some people don't know that. So that is a perk that kind of comes with it. You can share your account with another adult in your household as well. Amazon Prime, $139 a year or $14.99 a month. If you want just the video account, if you don't have that Prime for the shopping, you can get just that as well too. $8.99 a month. The fun thing about Amazon, but the interesting thing is they actually have a program similar to, if anyone has seen any of our Amazon shopping lectures, things like that, they have discounts and perks if you get, if you receive government assistance, EBT, things like that, certain government assistant programs, you can get discounts on Amazon. You can on the streaming as well. If you receive EBT, Medicaid, or other selected government assistance, you actually may qualify for discount. It puts it down to about $6.99 a month. Okay. So I definitely recommend if you fall into that umbrella, check it out. Feel like a good deal. It's not necessarily listed in here. I know Disney Plus was one that was mentioned. Disney Plus is in the process of changing their platforms to let anyone know who is interested in that. They're switching to an ad-supported platform in there too. So, and there is also YouTube TV, which I don't want to confuse anybody, is different than watching your videos and things on TV. YouTube TV is their own streaming service. It is one of the more expensive ones. I have never used it myself. I did have a participant that used it and loved it. got everything, all her local channels, everything was all live. She could get all that. It was the full deal. So that might be an option for someone too, if you want to keep it pretty basic and simple in one service, so you don't have to remember different things. Again, they are all a little different. Tailor them to your needs and what you're looking for. Okay. All right, so let's keep going here. So what if you don't want to pay? You want to get rid of your cable, you don't want any of this, you just want to switch. You can use an HD antenna. It plugs into the TV, you lay it flat, you hang it on the wall. You remember the old rabbit ears on the top of our TV that if you lived in a rural area like me, probably had some beautifully aesthetically pleasing tinfoil around the top of it? That's what this does. Same thing without that beautiful tinfoil ears behind your TV. Those antennas do the same exact thing, except they give you the high definition. They're pretty inexpensive. A good one for an urban area is less than $40. I will say rural areas, you know who you are. You might need an amplified antenna. It does cost a little bit more, but I promise it's still better looking than fighting with the tinfoil in the angle of your ears. That'll allow you to get all those regular channels before they did away with that free network TV and tried to add it all to cable. They brought it back. My parents still refuse to get cable. They do have this, so they've got all their Fox and NBC and PBS and all that usual local networks again. They have upped it though. I will say if you are in an area with some Spanish speaking channels, you can usually get some really great ones for that as well. So if you want cable replacement services, so these are ones that are going to cost a little bit. You do have different options. These are, again, just some of the most common. Sling is really very popular with sports fans. If you know any sports fans, you know simple things like finding the football game sometimes lately can be difficult. Sling TV comes with multiple ESPNs, other things as well. You can get like TBS, Bloomberg, CNN, History Channel. Right? It does start at $35, but it does have those other package and channels you can add on. So again, I will caution adding those different things can make the cost go up. So definitely kind of pre-plan. Think about what you watch, what you're interested in, what you want to make sure you have, and go from there. Okay. I don't want you buying a whole bunch of different packages and then end up not really saving a whole lot of money. YouTube TV, I know I did mention, they've got a lot of different channels. My participant loved it. Honestly, she said it was everything she could ever want on her TV in one. And as I said, it is $65 a month. You can add optional additional packages if you want that sports package, things like that. There's Hulu with live TV. That is always an option you can add on. DirecTV Stream. So you're streaming it rather than through your cable lines, through the internet. Again, they all are a little bit different. So tailor it to you. Tailor it to what you want and what you need. So you decided you want to stream, you know what you're going to use. Now what? You need a smart TV. Generally is any TV purchased since 2010. I will say there are varying levels of smart in the TV. Some of the older models, it was evolving tech. They're not quite as streamlined and smooth running as the newer ones. But that smart TV just has your internet capability. They do generally have built-in streaming apps. The screenshot here, for instance, you may have things listed on there that you don't use. For instance, mine at home, I have Hulu listed on there. I do not have a Hulu subscription. If I select that, all it's going to do is want me to sign in or sign up. So I just don't use it. You can add to them. They are internet capable. Depending on what you have, you generally have some kind of App Store, Play Store, etc. So that if you want Tubi, for instance, and it doesn't come preloaded, you can do that. They are internet capable. You can still do the old type with your remote, type out your web address, etc. It's tedious, but that does generally work as well. So if you don't have a smart TV, but you still want to stream, then what do you do? Well, you can use most of these, as I mentioned, on your phone, on your tablet, your computer, etc. Okay. But you want it on your TV. What do? You do generally need a streaming device that will allow you to broadcast or play it on your TV. I say broadcast because this Google Chromecast is kind of the odd man out in these. So Google Chromecast is a little different. It actually doesn't come with a remote or anything else. What it does is this little device plugs into your TV, and it then makes it able to receive that internet information from something else. Sounds a little weird. Basically, if I have a TV, I have Google Chromecast in there, I can use my phone and I can pull up my Netflix account, pick a show I want, and then I can use that, and that will send it to my TV. So then I see it on the big screen. You can do with other things too. You know, whatever you're doing, YouTube, whatever you're doing on your phone, you can then use your Google Chromecast to cast it to your TV so you can see it. There's no remote with it because whatever device you're using, your cell phone, your tablet, whatever, you control it through there. Okay. So it is a little different than the others. Okay. The others do generally come with some kind of device and then usually a remote. They're usually either a little stick that you got to plug into the TV, or like this is Roku, so you've got the little box you got to plug in. Okay. Then they let you use your TV for the streaming services, that's the thing, but they do usually come with a remote. Roku, I think, is actually one of the more common ones now. It is fairly inexpensive. Roku has their own smart TVs to some of these little boxes you can plug in to your older TV. It does range in prices, $30 to $180, depending on what you're looking for. And the Amazon Fire Stick has options. They have, again, their own Amazon Fire TV, or you can get the stick to plug into your old TV. They range anywhere from $30 to $70-ish, depending on where you're looking. Apple TV is a little different. Apple TV for the service Apple TV Plus is only $4.99 a month, but you need the Apple TV device so that it has that to communicate with. The actual device is more expensive of these. It is over $100, but again, the service itself is only $4.99 a month. So again, tailor this to your own wants and needs here. I will say too, if anybody is concerned about any of it, you can always go online and they always have really great comparisons of things. If you're debating what's the difference, what's the pros, what's the cons. Some that I definitely recommend is TechRadar. CNET always has really great comparisons. I love it because they give you the good and the bad about everything. Wired.com does as well. So if you're ever debating between two, you can always check those out. The other option too, those of us who want to use it on our computer, we just want to connect it to the TV. You can always just get an HDMI cable. Most of our laptops and our TVs do have an HDMI port, unless it's a really, really, really old TV. You can always do that too. And you just got to be careful of that wire. Make sure nobody's tripping over it. The dog's not running through, knocking off your laptop, things like that. But that is definitely your cheapest method to do. Okay. There is definitely a lot of different methods. Again, they all have different programming, different pricing. So definitely do your research and look and know what you're getting into. But there's so many really great options. Okay. So some questions. Which platform we discussed today are you most interested in trying? You can look up most of these to see what channels are offered. If it's one of the ones that has TV channel, they do generally list what channels you can get with it. I will throw that out there as well. If you don't have a TV, is there a device you think you might purchase, such as the Roku, the Fire Stick, Google Chromecast, any of those? Anyone think they might decide to cut the cord? Get rid of that cable altogether? And what program do you think you are most likely to binge watch?
Great British Bake Show.
There you
My
have it.
14-year-old loves
Recommendation.
that show, absolutely loves it. And it's coming back. She's so excited. Yep. So what has everybody got for me?
Yeah, lots of suggestions in the chat. And I want to acknowledge, received a ton of good questions. I did my best to kind of recap some of what Jess was saying. One of the things I want to highlight is those of you who are sports fans, I do not envy you trying to replace what you're getting. So what I'll say is those live TV options just mentioned are your best bet.
Yeah,
But depending on where you live, especially if you're in Texas, which doesn't apply here, but depending on where you live depends on how easy or how difficult it is to get those sports options. So keep that in mind.
absolutely. As a football fan, I feel your pain. It's so hard to find the games now, like where they've always been, and then they're not there, and it's a mess.
Think of streaming kind of like passwords. It is a universal frustration. So if you're running into issues or trying to figure out where things are, like this is a universal norm now, trying to track down where things are. Google is your friend. If you're trying to find a show or program, I would definitely Google it. And like Jess showed, you'll see where you can view it.
Google's
Jess,
great too. It's so quick and easy to update. I found that it is usually the first place that the companies or broadcasters or whatnot do update it because it is so easy for them to update.
few people also, Jess, could you take a minute to explain sort of the route of taking the streaming device versus smart TV? Some people are saying, if I have a smart TV, do I not need a streaming device?
Generally, no. No, as long as you have a smart TV, it's already your internet capable. All that streaming device is going to do is then make it, the TV be capable of working. My house, I have a not smart TV and I have a smart TV. So I actually have the Amazon Fire Stick in my stupid TV, I guess we'll say, my old one. So then I can utilize it through there. And then my smart TV has got stuff built all into it already, and I don't have to worry about it. It works. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to find a TV now that it is not smart TV capable. I'm sure they're out there, but it is much harder to find them. Yeah. But that's all it is. Yeah, the device just makes it so that your TV that doesn't have it built in can.
A lot of folks suggesting they're going to start with some of the free options you put out there. But if you are curious, if I have a smart TV, how do I start using it? Which is challenging. So what would you suggest, Jess?
I would honestly, because they are all different enough that I can't really give that blanket statement of, oh, you go here and do this. Check out YouTube, look up the type of TV that you have. There's always tutorials on them. Some are more useful than others, I will be honest, but it is a really great place to start. And even if it gets you going in the right direction, once you have that good idea of how to go about it, you can generally figure it out pretty well from beyond there. But it is a really great place to start. Search the type of TV you have and how to access Tubi.com or Tubi TV on it or whatever you're trying to do. Definitely a good recommendation.
And I might
It is.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's hard because they are all just that little bit different. So
A lot of folks asking about DVR and recording. Admittedly, I don't take advantage of that, but my understanding is those live TV options we covered, those are the ones that are going to have DVR and recording. Some of them you have to pay for that.
yeah, I do believe so. I think you're completely right. Yeah, a lot of the live TV may offer them, but again, that might be one of those things that they're going to sneak in that extra tack on charge. So I would definitely be cautious of that. Just do your research. Absolutely.
And Kara's queuing me up, almost like you're a plant here, Kara. Kara pointed out something that's really important. For those of you that aren't familiar, there's a federal benefit program called the Affordable I always say it wrong. It's the ACP program, connectivity program, not the healthcare program, my bad. Kara just shared that link in the chat. And so this is a federal benefit that provides a discount on internet. So if internet costs are also sort of a barrier for you, please take a look. I'm assuming the link she has shared talks about eligibility, so you can learn a little bit more. So if you don't already have an affordable internet option, definitely check that out.
One other thing about the ACP too, that some people don't know, if anyone in your household qualifies for it, you get it.
Yep.
So if any of you are caregivers, things like that, you can keep that in mind as well. You only need one person in the household to qualify. Yep.
Rick said, why do you need a PhD to figure this stuff out? So I think something to keep in mind is like streaming has been popular since
2000s, yeah. Oh. Did we lose Bree? We might have.
I think we lost. Bree.
I think we lost Bree. Yeah, my input on that question is, unfortunately, it's technology and there's a lot of hands in the pot. You get the Samsungs, you get the LGs, you get and they've all got to make it just that little bit different, which makes my job sometimes very difficult. It can be a pain, yes, unfortunately. I will say most of them are kind of similar. So get a moment of bravery and you can check things out. It's kind of why I send people to YouTube too, because it's all just that little bit different. So try to get a good idea of where to go from there. And when in doubt, yeah, check out those free options first. If you get yourself comfortable with those, get a little bravery to go on and try some of the other methods, absolutely. But I agree, yeah, they make it as intimidating and hard as they possibly can, I think.
Someone else asked about getting local TV stations if they cut the cord and just stream.
So again, you can go to like your network TV channels, similarly to I showed with pbs.com. Just make sure your local area and it is logged into that. And you can usually do watch live TV. Say, I believe the other ones. Oh, now I'm freezing here. Do as well. Let me see. Let's see. So yeah, I can go again, if I have it set, I can go to my live TV right now and watch my ABC right live as I'm doing it. Okay. So you do still have your live TV, and then of course I can browse all the other shows and things that are on there as well. It's not quite as simple as getting one of those live TV streaming services, but it is definitely a free option. So again, that's why I say tailor this to what you do. If you're somebody who likes to watch the news every night and you want to watch this every day, it might definitely benefit you to get one of those subscription services. If you're somebody who just periodically kind of checks in and wants to watch something, maybe check out just the free services. We all definitely have different TV watching habits and needs and wants. So.
Another good question is whether or not there's some sort of chat room or online group where people can ask questions after today's program.
Actually, I have something for that in my little closing spiel for everyone. So I will address that in a minute. Anything else come up?
I think that's it. Yes.
All right. Well, I'll give my little spiel then. I want to say thank you. You guys had some really fantastic questions. I hope I've helped you out and didn't confuse you a little bit more. There's a lot out there, so it can get a little confusing, unfortunately. So I do want to say thank you again, AARP Massachusetts, for having me today. I'll share the handout in the chat again one more time in a moment. So if you have any questions that I did not cover in today's session, or just questions about technology in general, we do have a toll-free hotline. It is currently at 936-4410. Our tech trainers are there Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time to answer your questions. And if you're interested in learning more and participating in any of our Senior Planet classes or discussion groups, they are hosted on Zoom. Visit www.seniorplanet.org. There's a list of upcoming live events and classes. And lastly, we'd love your feedback. Tell us how today's session went. I will put in the chat a quick survey, okay, for everyone. We do appreciate your honest feedback on it.
Jess, can you repeat the phone number, please?
Absolutely. It is 917-936-4410. Give me a moment here and I will get my little screens already here. I can put all that right in the chat for you as well. Fortunately, Bree dropped us on here on accident and she was my go-to for having those, so I didn't have them completely ready. My apologies. All right. So I will put in there is that hotline number for everyone. I'll put in the Senior Planet website information. I definitely invite you to check out some of our classes. Even if you retake something you've already seen, if it is a different instructor or just different people participating in the class, I found you can definitely get some different information. My favorite is when I'm doing a class and my participants teach me things. So, all right.
And I am back. I have no idea what happened. Quality of internet, right?
All of a sudden we lost you mid-word. I was like, oh no, there goes Bree. All right. I just didn't put the survey, I think is the only thing I didn't put in.
And I think we can include that survey in the follow-up email as well.
Perfect. I did see somebody ask, do you need a subscription to Senior Planet to call the hotline? Absolutely not.
You don't even need to be an AARP member.
So I hope everyone learned a lot and tries some new things. But that is all I have for you today. So
Thank you, very
I hope
helpful.
you enjoyed it.
All right, thank you so much, Jess and Bree. That was fantastic. And now we all need to be mindful about how much streaming we do. And with that in mind, I do want to remind you that we are going to be doing this again with our friends at Senior Planet in November. On November 2nd, we'll be doing an event on mindfulness apps. Sorry, it's November 7th at 1 p.m. And that's a completely different topic, but it has to do with being digitally savvy. And that's what we're helping you with. And we'll be doing this throughout of next year as well. So stay tuned for more about how to become digitally savvy with help from Senior Planet. And of course, follow everything that we're doing at aarp.org/MA. And that's Massachusetts. We're here for you. And we want to know what you're interested in. So let's connect again soon, everybody. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone. Take care.